Hey guys, it's Jonna, the Preppy Crafty Girl, and I am here for another Trinket Tuesday. Please use the hashtag Trinket Tuesday if you are participating in my open collab and tag me at the Preppy Crafty Girl. I want to see if you're making trinkets, buying trinkets, how you use trinkets, show me your trinket collection, how you display it. And why don't you join in on this awesome open collab I started? Okay, so we are going to make a trinket, and I am working right now on a series of little felt creation trinkets for junk journaling or for bag charms. And this one is for my retro album or junk journal I'm doing for myself, and bringing back all the vibes of when I used to go to the roller rink when I was a teenager. I dated the skate guard, yes. And so it's bringing back all the memories of the music they used to pipe in. And also in the wintertime, it became the ice skating rink. And so then you had to, take a break for the Zamboni, and it was just awesome. You hold hands, you skate around, they have the disco ball going and the flickering lights, and just brings back all the feels. So anyway, I thought I would do a little throwback and make a vintage roller skate. Now, I did not have fancy roller skates like the ones we're going to make, but these are like a wish. Like, if I could have had roller skates, my little 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old self would have wanted white, pink, and purple. So anyway, I made myself my own template pattern, and I will, if you want this template or pattern, I can offer it in my coffee shop. If you just comment below that you want it, if I have enough interest, then I will upload this template to that, and I will offer it for free. I do have Bert and Ernie inspired template in my coffee shop now. If you enjoyed the series of doing Bert and Ernie together, I will consider putting this one up there also. Some things that you will need are a few colors of felt, and this is just craft felt. I'm using 3 different colors. I'm using a lilac, a fuchsia, or a hot pink, and white. You will need some stuffing of some sort. And then you will need a couple of coordinating threads. So I have that. This is just some Star 6 strand, it's called. I think these were vintage embroidery cottons that I picked up, or somebody gave me. And then I have some white. I have a few of these. I bought some new ones, Angela, because Angela, the traveling crafter, said I needed some new, sharper embroidery needles. So I did pick up a few of those. I also picked up a new, and I've not tried these, so I'm going to see how this goes, a new needle threader. You'll need some way of hanging your trinket for your journal or your bag. I'm just using these plastic clips, and then I will stitch it into the top of the roller skate. I'm using, for on the wheels to decorate mine, 2 rhinestones for the wheel decoration. I will glue those on. And then for the laces, I'm going to be using these little, now this you don't have to necessarily do, but to make it a little more realistic, I am using some little tiny heart eyelets. So I have those, and you will need some of the Beacon Fabri-Tac felt glue. It's one of my favorite glues to use. If you've ever tried this on your felt products, you will notice it does not stain through. It does not get stiff. It just makes it super nice. I don't recommend using it for the outside too. If you're stuffing your little felt object, if you don't want to stuff it and you just want to use this as an embroidery patch, you can. And then I would definitely recommend this, but I would definitely stitch your little item, trinket, you're going to stitch all the way around it, and that's the way it'll hold together really nice. You will need some kind of crocodile or an eyelet setter and a pair of scissors in order to cut out the felt, cut the embroidery thread, and that is it. So just a few little items, that's all you need, and we will get started. So you will cut 2 of the wheels and 2 of the rubber bumper and of the base of one of the base. I'm only doing mine single-sided, which is fine for me. You could do it double-sided if you want to, and then all you have to do is flip the piece and you can put it on the back side. I am not. I'm only going to do the one-sided. Then you'll need the tongue of your skate. So you'll need that piece. You will need then 2 of the skates and the base pieces. That's going to make the base piece of your felt skate now. Okay, so that is all you will need. And let's get started. I'm going to check my camera really quick, make sure I'm still in focus. I am. Okay. I'm going to need the white. We are going to take the flap, the tongue part, and we are going to go ahead and glue this down first because I will want to stitch the one edge. And then, so you just kind of put it on there at the top on the curve. I'm going to set this side a piece for now because what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and set my eyelets before I put it together. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to move my pieces. I don't need them. If I can scooch them over to the side. All right, I'm going to let that sit there for a second. And then I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to make a pencil mark where I feel like I want to put the eyelets, and that looks good to me. Even though they do go all the way down, I'm not going to do that many. And then I'm going to go ahead and unlock this, and I'm going to go ahead and punch a tiny hole. And this is right alongside the tongue. I'm just going to punch that hole there. I may have to trim it. The punch doesn't get all the way through. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Duh. I need to do another one and another one. So I've got all my 3 holes punched. I need to just trim out the little bit of felt there and there. That one kind of stretched a little bit, but it'll be okay. And then I'm going to put the heart in, and I'm going to squeeze it and set the eyelet. I don't know why my lock keeps going off every time I do that. It's such a pain. Okay, so I've got my one set. I'm going to go ahead and set the other one in there. Let's do it on the smaller side. I'm gonna turn these. See if I can turn that like so. You don't have to use heart-shaped ones. You can use round, but I had these in my stash, so why not? And then a third one. And squeeze that in there. Okay, so I have my eyelets set, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some of the lilac one. I I know there's this one, but you should use the one that's in the center, and that is not the center one. So is that it right there? Because if you pull, I know on one of these, however, I do roll them onto these after I get my first use. All right, well, I can't find it, so I'm just gonna take these off, and I'll just go from here. And we are going to, I'm gonna try out my new little thing here and see how that works. Ooh, worked perfectly. Okay, highly recommend. Got that at Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna tie a knot. Gonna trim it. And I'm gonna start at the top. And I am going to leave this kind of long because I want to do the skate thing. I'm gonna go ahead and, whoops. I'm gonna go ahead and stitch it into the tongue. Ah, it wasn't dry yet. And then I'm going to then stitch it here on the edge. So I've got my piece hanging out. Uh-oh, I gotta go back in and set that again. I'm gonna come down here, grab this one, come up and through. I'm gonna do it again down here, up and down and through. And then I'm gonna work back at an angle. So I'm gonna come back up here and I'm going to come up at an angle into that hole, and this will create the lacing. Whoops. Ah, okay, I gotta stick that back in. I gotta stick that back in. All right, and then I'm gonna come back up through this, through the eyelet again, and we're gonna do it again up here. So that gives you your lacing, and then I'm gonna come back up through the eyelet, back down to this one, the second one. So you're just kind of making X's like so, and then back up through the eyelet. Oh wait, did I go the wrong way? Oops. So I need to come back up through the second eyelet. I need to go back down to the thread, and that completes the X's, but I'm gonna come back up through the top part again. I'm going to stitch that back down in just to complete that first stitch. And then I'm going to go back up again. I'm going to kind of knot this thing, come back through that stitch. And I've got a nice thing at the top. And then I'm going to come back up through one last time. I am going to cut it. And I'm going to knot the end, and I will put a little bit of fray check on these so it does not, there. So this one, and if I wanted to, I could make a tiny little bow at the top, which I might. probably should have made this while they were a little bit longer, but that gives me my little bow at the top. And there you have your lacing bit. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to my white, and I'm going to stitch down in here along this edge right here and a little bit at the top, and then I leave that edge because that's going to be a part of the whole thing, right? So let's again use this little threading tool. I'm so excited that it works. So you just slide it through the hole there and put it on the hook and bring the needle over it, and it goes like so. And then I need to knot it. And I'm just going to do a straight, plain straight stitch along this edge. And I'm just going to just do a straight tacking decorative stitch along the edge of the tongue. It will get stitched down better when we do the outline of the skate, but for now I'm just going up, down, up, down. I can trim off any excess. And you're just going to outline that piece. And I'm just going under the stitching. I should have probably stitched this on first. So if you're doing this, stitch that part first. Okay, then what I do is, because we are also going to go all the way around, let's see if I can't squish this one in a little bit better. Because we're going to go around the edge, I'm going to go ahead and just leave that needle attached, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to glue the base on. So we are going to, this is the back side, so I'm going to be flipping it over. We got the stopper on there. Whoop. Now this will get stitched down, so it just needs to kind of be tacked down. Doesn't need to be perfect unless you are going to not stitch and all you're going to do is glue. Okay, so there's the heel. and the bumper. And then we're going to take the, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to get the pink out. These will get wrapped on a card, so it doesn't matter if I do these the right way or the wrong way. It makes it easier if you do it the right way though. But I'm not seeing the other end. It's really weird. Okay. So let's get some pink out. And again, I'm going to use this little threader ingenious thing. Where have you been all my life? You guys probably already knew about it. Tie a knot. And I'm just gonna go probably start in the center one just to keep the knot away from the edge so it doesn't poke out. So let's just go around the center and add some little accent stitches in. So there's the pink, and I am gonna go ahead and knot that off since I'm done. Oh, oops, I accidentally went through the white. Need to back it back out. Let's knot it. Well, that didn't work. Let's go back through and just kind of a little knot. Okay. Now we need to put the wheels on, and the wheels again had the purple, which I should have left some attached. I usually like to have a length on, I use a few needles and use the length on them so that I don't have to keep going in and threading them. I'll just cut that again using this little nifty little tool. Whoops. Oh, I almost pulled it through the wrong thing. Alrighty, and then let's knot that off. We are having a beautiful, hot, sunny day on the lake today. I'm enjoying sitting in my air conditioning, looking out at the water, glistening in the foreground. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to start out, let's put some glue on here just to tack it down like that. Let's do the other one. And then we're going to go around the edge and stitch. So just going to go around the outside edge. Oops. The outside edge. Like so. And I'm just going to do the whole up, down, tagging it down. If you wanted to, you don't necessarily have to do this by hand. You could do it on a machine, especially if you have like an embroidery machine or something like that. You could do and embroider these and then sew them together, which would be totally fine. To cut this little bit off. I don't know where my sewing scissors are. I think they're still in my suitcase. I took some little work with me, slow stitch work with me on my trips, and I never did it. You know, I always have the good intentions, but okay, so there is that one. Let's go do the other one. So I'm just going to literally go through the other stitching just so I can just pull it across a lot easier than sitting there knotting, re-knotting, blah, blah, blah. I'm just taking the easy way. Just gonna pull it through like so. And then we're going to do the same thing with the front wheel. Let's see. The glue is not dry yet. It's all right. Oops. That's one thing about the felt glue. It does take a while to dry because it is a liquid glue. But it is well worth the wait for the results that you get. Okay, so there's my second one. This is coming out so cute. Really cute. Okay, let's go back in here. And I'm just gonna knot that off and trim it. Set that aside. So now we have these, and I can already see, like I'm gonna see behind the hole, and I don't want the fuzz to come out. So I'm just gonna create this little piece right here, and I'll just I'll glue this down with the felt glue. So it doesn't come through the holes. I'm going to go on either side of the eyelet holes, and then I'm just going to glue that down like that. And yeah, then we have that. So cute. Alrighty. And I'm going to trim this pink one off because I can see it from the front. That's kind of what happens. You have to go back in and trim everything. You can see that comes through. Okay. Now we're almost done, people. So we have that. Now we're just going to go ahead and stitch this on to the front one, the back one to the front one. You're going to leave a hole open. I'm going to leave probably from here to here open because it's straight and I'll be able to reach everything a lot better. So let's do that. So I'm going to work. I'm going to have to kind of stitch through some of this, I think, or not stitch through it, but bring my needle across because I'm on the other side. There. Okay. And then we are going to come up through here. I'm going to go down and we're just going to work it the same way we did. You catch the thread, you pull it through. And I'm going to go all the way around doing that. The whole thing. Oops. I did not catch that thread before I pulled it. And I'm going to pull it around to the top. There. And then I'm going to catch it. Pull. Next one. Grab, making sure I'm grabbing them both. And pull. And I'm going to keep just going all the way around like that. I'm going to work in pretty close stitches because of I don't want the batting to come out. And I'm pulling through both. So that's kind of how it's looking right now. When you're going around the edge, you can kind of straighten out the stitching a little bit like that. Again, if you'd like the free pattern to this, please leave a comment below and let me know, and I will upload my pattern into my Ko-fi shop, which I will link below. And if I get some feedback, I will put it in there. It'll go in sometime tonight. So make sure you check my shop. You can follow me at the Preppy Crafty Girl on Ko-Fi, and you will get notifications when I put other things in there. You'll find several freebies in there. I haven't done a whole lot, but I've got, now that I'm doing this series, I'm putting things in there. So both Bert and Ernie inspired ones are in there right now. I'm not grabbing the pink on the bottom, I'm just grabbing the 2 whites. Okay, now we are going to take a little bit of the batting and we're gonna just start to stuff it into the skate. This is where it starts to take shape and looks really cute. Making sure I get it in all the little spaces. And I'm going to take the end of my pencil and I'm going to just stuff the front of the skate. Get it all stuck down in the toe like so. I'm not going to stuff it down into the wheel because I kind of want the wheel to go in, but I am going to stuff it into the heel. Let me grab some more. And into the back like so. And then I'm going to finish it out by let's see, I need to add a little bit more. I'm gonna finish it out by stitching with the white again. And I will speed this up and then we will be done and I will show you how we're gonna stitch that on and we'll put the little wheel bling on it. I'm going to, at the top, I'm going to come out the top. What's happening here on that corner? I'll redo that. Or I'm just going to go up through, I think, the corner of it. And I'm going to go ahead and let's stitch on our hook. And I'm going to go through a few times here so that you do all that work, right? You don't want it to fall off. That would be terrible. So I'm using the white so it matches, but you could use whatever color makes you happy. Just coming up through that hole and then back down through the skate. And I think that that's pretty good there. So now I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna come back out that hole I haven't finished yet. That way that's in there good. And then I'm going to finish stitching the edge of the skate close, and that just hides all of the knots and everything inside, except for this last one. Whoops, whoopsie. Got that. Went around that. Okay. I got one more stitch I need to do. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it back through these little strings that are on the clasp, and then I'm going to bring it back through into the body of the skate like so. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to grab it here and I'm going to pull it while I say that. You could probably, yeah, just pull and it'll disappear into the inside of the skate. There it goes. And you can just trim it and get your shape. And I got to tie the bow again. I need to add a little bit of felt glue or fray check, whichever you prefer, onto this little bow so it stays. Oh goodness, 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 goodness. Being very fiddly. Oh, that didn't do it. Okay. Need to do this around and through. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. And then I'm going to go ahead and just glue the little bow. There's that one. Where's the other end of that one? Okay, there we go. So I think under the knot is probably the best place to add just a touch of glue. And then pull it how you want it to be tied, like so. Let's see, I'm gonna put there. So I've got my bow like that, and everything is there. Okay, next I'm gonna put these little gemstones on. So I'm gonna add some of the same glue, and I'm just going to put my little gemstone wheels onto here. And there we have it. So we have completed another Trinket Tuesday. If you're enjoying this series, give it a thumbs up. And I appreciate any comments. Let me know if you want me to put a free printable in my Ko-fi for this, if you would make one for your own journal. They are so much fun, and you can give them out to your friends, make a bunch of them, have a little skate party with your friends. They'd be cute hanging on gift bags for, or if like you have a little kid that's having a skate party for their birthday. I don't even know if they do that anymore, but if they are, this is a cute little, you know, gift hanger. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. So I hope you are enjoying the series. And again, I thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.